Adult stem cells are your body's primary repair entity. There is only one supplement company which claims to be able to increase your blood levels of circulating adult stem cells, and that's Cerule, with their Stem Enhance Ultra product. 2 capsules have been shown to increase adult stem cell levels by over 30% in just 1 hour. There is no other product which dares to make such a claim. Beth and I take Stem Enhance daily and double up anytime we think our body's immune system could use a little boost. Check it out at billstill.cerule.com. If you have any questions about Cerule products, contact Beth at bhstill@gmail.com.
We begin with breaking news. Sources are confirming to Fox News that National Security Advisor Mike Waltz is out, as well as his deputy, Alex Wong. Additional names are likely to come, we're told, and we expect to hear from the president on this soon. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce is also with me and coming up. First, though, let's get the news of what's coming together right now. Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin is at the Pentagon. Jennifer.
Well, Harris, this is really stunning news coming out of the White House. It's been confirmed by our own Jackie Heinrich, White House correspondent, that Mike Waltz, the National Security Advisor, and his deputy, Alex Wong, have been pushed out of that position by the president. This comes just after the 100-day mark. You'll remember during the first Trump administration, of course, Mike Flynn was the shortest-serving National Security Advisor. He lasted 24 days. This is obviously coming in the wake of what has become known as Signalgate, where shortly before the U.S. launched its military campaign against the Houthis in Yemen, Mike Waltz, as National Security Advisor, mistakenly added the Atlantic editor Jeffrey Goldberg to a Signal chat in which his defense secretary, as well as other national security, the head of the CIA and others, Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, were on a very sensitive talk on this insecure platform that's not used for government conversations typically. That led to an embarrassing incident with Defense Secretary Hegseth sharing what are largely believed to be classified details of that Houthi operation about the timings of airstrikes, the timings and what kind of military platforms were going to be used.
Today, the president fired Mike Waltz as the National Security Advisor. That's great news, at least to my ears. Mike Waltz is a decent person. However, he's the wrong person for this position, in my opinion. He does not have the president's back on war, and his mistakes that he made, especially on the Signal chat, in my opinion, it was deliberate. You just don't put somebody from the Atlantic in there and give them full access to the entire top echelon of the president's core people. You just don't do that. That's a mistake that is unforgivable without question. And you can even see on his face when questioned in the Oval Office with all the reporters in there, that his face is constantly turning red and his consonants is like, oh, shoot. He really bungled that one up big time. And if you go in his past, he has an impressive military career. He retired from Special Forces as a full-bird colonel. That's very impressive. He's got, I believe, 4 Bronze Stars, something like that. And he was the first Special Forces to get into Congress. And so he did quite well there. However, what I do have a problem with is his background and the company that he created and started that allowed him to make a whole lot of money. And this is the same thing as former Vice President Dick Cheney with his company. And so this company made him a super millionaire overnight. and with all these government contracts and so forth. So he's in it to win it as far as fighting and going. He's a neocon, and these neocons love war for profit. That's the same with Dick Cheney. He was the uh, chief of staff of Dick Cheney when he was vice president. He worked under him as an officer on chief of staff for the vice president for the Pentagon. And he just has these deep ties with these former Bushites that are there that love to go to war and love to profit from war and let American men and women, in some cases, die for what? Look at Iraq now. It's one of the popular terrorist locations for training and so forth in the world. What have we done with it?
The world's biggest air base completely furnished.
Yes, and he was also part of the National Defense Authorization Act of 2021, and that was designed to prevent the president from withdrawing soldiers from Afghanistan without congressional approval.
So let's move on to what happens next. And both you and I are looking forward to the possibility of Mike Flynn returning to the office of National Security Advisor.
I look at it this way, Bill. President Trump had his first term. They did everything they can to derail him. He was up against immeasurable odds. They ended up getting rid of him on him, tried to silence him, tried to put him away. Now he's back with a second term, not a concurrent term. He's back for a second term. This second term, he knows what to do. He absolutely knows what to do. He's not afraid to do what he has to do, and he's got a good crew. Secretary Pete Hegseth, fantastic warrior that's in there, is driven. He's absolutely driven to success in ensuring that our military is the most powerful in the world and feared. Absolutely. This should send a signal to our allies too as well, including NATO. That said, General Flynn got in. They attacked him. They got him out. They did lawfare against him. He got out of that. Him coming back would be Trump 2.0, General Flynn 2.0.
Right.
He'll know what to do, and nobody could stop it. He'll be able to effectively do this job unequivocal without hesitation. And General Flynn and Pete Hegseth would be a very good dynamic duo combination team.
When General Flynn, it was announced that Obama was picking him up and bringing him into his administration. I was working in the office of the Secretary of Defense, about 250 people in a big room. And all of a sudden, somebody turned up the TV when the announcement came, and everybody cheered and got up and was clapping. And this was a long time ago, but his reputation was so big even then that everybody's going, "Why did Obama bring him in? Is he crazy?"
All right. Bringing General Flynn back would have the same dynamic intensity that President Trump has as a second chance, as a second term. Like I said, other than a concurrent term, um, he would absolutely mix well with Pete Hegseth, and they would be in the ultra dynamic duo again. They would certainly make our country safe and do everything it can to secure everything in our nation, and especially dealing with China. Now, Mike Waltz has some good things about China, about their students coming here to our universities and stealing intellectual property and everything else, and businesses and so forth. He was very good on that, on countering China, and very strong in the stance on that. I give him credit for that. But his ability, and this is in my professional opinion in the intelligence sector, his ability to have the absolute control of that and understanding the president's back, he slipped. This is an obvious slip, or it was done because he wanted to do it. We
Right.
might never know, but this fiasco that came from it, he deserves to go without question. You just don't make that kind of a mistake for the country and allow for fake news media to continue using that and then try to get the secretary's wife involved. Oh, she's involved with chats and of confidential information. It just goes on and on and on. When is it going to ever end? Uh, General Flynn is the consummate professional, an absolute military professional. Obviously, he went to the rank of lieutenant general and was the director of DIA. This guy doesn't hold back. He absolutely gets the fundamentals and the very basics to the very complex of intelligence studies and knows how to mix that information for our war fighters. That's what DIA was for. And they encompass all the information, the intel from all the agencies into one. They got one goal only for DIA is to ensure that when our men and women go into battle, go anywhere in the world, that we have an absolute control and win. That's it. That is it. So that mentality and understanding of how everything goes and running that entire organization as the director of DIA and then coming in as national security advisor, oh, I'd rather have that kind of a character of a person and understanding and the education behind it and the actual work product behind it than a congressman that retired from the military, started a contracting company, made $1 billion and profits off of war. There's a disconnect right there. It just is not within Trump's strategy at this time. He was the wrong person at the right time.
What Trump has to do, as soon as he can pull it off, is to take out the mullahs in Iran. The Iranian people hate the mullahs. I mean,
Yes,
by huge percentages, but they rule with an iron hand, and that has repercussions not only throughout the Middle East but throughout the entire world, and that's got to be stopped. And that's Trump's major foreign policy mission, in my opinion, is to silence them. And he's got nobody better than bringing in Mike Flynn to help do that.
that could happen. And I would agree with you 100% on that. And just because the Iranians shot rounds across the bow of U.S. warships during the Biden administration, like Pete Hicks has said the other day, we could come at you at any time or place of our choosing. It doesn't matter if it's 10 years down the road. That's international. So under international law, you did that. That's an act of war. We can get retaliation. So the people of Iran deserve a better representation than what's going on right there right now. But the fact of the matter is, Iran had pulled the trigger on thousands of missiles already aimed at Israel to take them out. What's that tell you? What's next? Either you're going to stop your nuclear program and say, we're listening. How can we do it? Because we know we're going to get hit. But no, they're playing the game of stall, stall, stall as much as you can. They're
Right.
very good at it. But Mike Flynn, certainly, along with the Israelis, because you've been shooting the missiles at that country, and Israel is going to get back again. They will get back again. And if we had a coordinated effort on that, then we could put a silence to that and make the Middle East just a much more stable location in the world.
Right.
They can't have a bomb, Bill. They just can't.
Right. Okay, well, that's good. I mean, we're acting like Flynn's already in there when he hasn't, but he's the obvious choice.
He is the obvious choice. And uh, as you know, the last time we saw him, he was outstanding. No matter where he goes, that man carries himself quite well, and he doesn't have to try. He is what he is,
Right.
and he's achieved that. And he's just humble as can be, but he's extremely sharp. And I implore President Trump to reconsider him and beg him to come back. That is the right match.
Yeah, you and I met him in person, what, about a year ago,
Yes,
a year and a half ago, which was
right.
really amazing. That was so anyway, this is very exciting stuff.
I truly hope the president reconsiders, and if so, if General Flynn will get that call, if he would do his final call to duty to the country, he deserves it, no doubt. But our country would be much better off, and that would make the Trump administration that much more cohesive and stronger and robust. And with Pete Hegseth and Trump and General Flynn working together, it's unstoppable. We'll be able to clean house, especially in our intel agencies, and clean it up, make it much better, make it more efficient too as well. So that needs to happen. It really needs to happen. And General Flynn is the person who can do this. So General Flynn, if you're listening, sir, I sure hope that you would accept any kind of invitation or encourage the president to give you a call. If not, we'll do it for you. But I hope you would become the next national security advisor under President Trump again.
Okay, that's it. Thank you, Sam.
All right, sir. Take care.